What's up, everybody, and welcome to Around the Monitor for the week of July 10th. I'm your host, King Kaiser, and this is the weekly gaming news talk show where every point you make in the discussion is a point towards winning. Joining me once again, we've got Master Hand Mizuki.
Sponsored by G Fuel.
We're not sponsored
Not really,
by G
but if they would, that'd be cool.
We've got Dapper Dastard, the Ace Attorney. Listen, I didn't forget it.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
That was funny.
We've got the Snapshot Crackshot, the Fisher King.
Root for me in the Evo this year, representing Around the Monitor. Oh, geez. Oh.
And last but not least, we've got the Hockey Sticks and Sickle himself, Ian.
Now legally able to drink in the U.S.
Whoa! Congrats on your
Congratulations.
21st birthday.
Oh, young boy.
Happy birthday.
Wow.
Like Castro in the wilderness with that fucking beard, though.
I've been seeing how it is, you know?
I don't hate it. I'm just saying, look like Castro in the wilderness.
But if this is your first time watching the show, basically how things work here, we've got the hottest topics in gaming news for the week. We talk through them every time somebody makes a good point in their opinion on that topic. I give them a point, and whoever has the most points at the end of the show wins. If you can catch the show live on twitch.tv/King Kaiser every Thursday night at 7:30, sometimes 45 p.m. But if you can't catch us live, don't worry. We go up the very next day on our YouTube as well as Apple iTunes Podcasts app. And I think that's it. But to determine the order, we always start off with a trivia question.
Come on, Splatoon.
Nope. One of the games we're going to be talking about this week is 2K's NBA 2K series. My question is, how many copies did NBA 2K20 sell?
I don't know. All of them?
10.
Are you
10
Something that
copies?
everyone hated, right? It's just broken.
No, I think you're thinking of WWE 2K20, homie.
I'm thinking of both. But
Also, it doesn't matter. It's an NBA game, but will still sell well.
Yeah,
Exactly.
2K20 was the one that had the slot machines that everybody
Yeah.
lost their minds
Oh,
about.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're like,
Understandably,
"It's not
for the
gambling,
record,
but
it
we
was
threw some slot machines.
yeah. Anybody want to take a guess? To be fair, this is the number I had was in the first 5 months of this game coming out.
You know, the fuck thing is, you've asked a million of these questions now about like how much games sell, and I still have no fucking idea how much games sell.
I feel you on that
Okay,
one.
no information. 9.5 million.
I was going to say
9.5.
7 mil.
7 mil.
12 mil.
12.
4 million.
4. Correct answer is 8 million.
Oof.
Which
8 mil.
I'm pretty sure gives Ian first pick, Fisher second, and then I think it's a tie between Mizuki and Dapper.
Oh yeah, you're right.
4 and 12.
Yeah,
Was it exactly 8 million?
yeah. That's the number I had.
No, the answer is it's probably more than that.
Yeah, give it to Dapper. They probably rounded it to an
Because
even
I don't
number.
think they sold 8 million copies and were like, we're done.
Fair. All right.
Lock them up.
Let's go over the topics for this week. We've got no longer on Mixer. Ian's main is looking symmetrical, says Reliant K. Yes. And Rusty says audio is now good. Good.
Cool.
The topics for this week's are, we've got no longer on Mixer. Ninja now starts streaming on YouTube. 2K 2021 or 2K21 is going to cost $69.99 on next gen consoles. Nice. What does this mean? God damn it. We are on the same wavelength
you and I
today.
have been talking too much to
Yeah.
It's a problem.
Ubisoft takes a page from Apex Legends and Valorant with their new Battle Royale Hyperscape. Xbox is holding a week-long demo event later this month. Amazon's Crucible was not doing well, so the devs pulled it from the internet. You can now no longer play this game.
Radical power move.
Evo has been canceled, and apparently so is half of the fighting game community. Bethesda has announced a Fallout TV show. And speaking of TV shows nobody asked for, we now have a Sims reality TV show. Yeah, that's a thing that's a sentence that came out of my mouth. Microsoft is
The year of our Lord, 2020.
Microsoft is reportedly not letting publishers charge more for next-gen upgrades, not the games themselves, but the upgrades. PlayStation 5 might have backwards compatibility via the cloud, and Sony has acquired a minority stake in Epic Games. Also, hello, Reliant K fan. So, Ian, you're up first. What would you like to talk about?
All right, this is, I guess it's become my pet topic here on the show. I'm going to talk about Crucible again.
Hey.
I think this is like my third or fourth time talking about this fucking game.
Please take it away.
So, Crucible came out,
Mm-hmm.
and I played like a game and thought, hey, this is kind of cool. And then I played another game and thought, wow, this really sucks. And that seems to be the consensus, is this game really fucking sucked. It was so broken. It was not fun to play. And it had no like voice chat or text chat in a team-based like MOBA-like. It was a mess. It was for so many reasons like half-baked. But it was interesting, and that's something I really admired about it. But it sucked. So the developers who are fucking Amazon have said,
small startup company, Amazon.
Small indie.
Jeff's good company.
Bad Jeff's good company.
You can't get this game anymore. If people already have it, I believe they said you can still play it if you have downloaded it already.
Oh,
But you can't like get it from Steam.
Mm.
And they released it as a full release, and now they're saying, whoops, sorry about that. We're actually going to be in beta for a while.
Like what?
That's a whoops.
It's such a like yikes that they released this game so bad, and now they're saying we're actually not releasing this anymore. It's not a released game.
I can't think of another scenario in history where this has happened.
Yeah, it's hard to think of.
Mm-hmm.
However, I kind of see this as a good thing because, like I said, my first game of Crucible, I thought, wow, this is really cool and interesting. And if it didn't suck so bad, I think it could be really cool and interesting.
I think that was a conversation you and I had on this show.
Yeah.
If this game was better, it would be better.
Yeah. Well, exactly. It could be really good, but it's not. So going into beta and listening to player feedback, they're going to do like a weekly live stream where you can talk to the devs. I think that's going to be a good thing.
Yeah, I think games as a service type games continuing to launch slightly broken and then need time to fix is going to continue to be the trend for some time. But moving on, though, Fisher, what would you like to take for your first topic?
Look, I mean, we know it's the Evo topic, all right? Let's not even fuck around. It's the topic of talking about the fighting game thing, surprisingly.
This had to be your thing.
All right, so Evo's dead, probably forever. Everyone that's involved in a fighting game ever is a piece of shit. That's including Mike Z, the guy behind Skullgirls. That one was a physical blow to me in the chest. Mr. Wizard, what's his face? Fucking Cooler from Evo. Look. Everyone knew he was a piece of shit. It's just now official that he's a piece of shit and also abusive to women. Like, there's been speculation that he's a racist and a piece of crap for a long time now. Not surprised by any of that. All of fighting game players ever being canceled. Also not a surprise. Swerve, we saw that one coming too. Basically what I'm saying is that I love fighting games, and the fighting game community deserves this. It is an incredibly insular, toxic, cult-like fan base, so that's for each individual game. And honestly, Evo, while being the most important and most like prestigious fighting game tournament, is still one that is like created by the fighting game community. Which I know what you're thinking, that sounds good. I'd rather have that than like a corporate sanctioned fighting game
Mm.
thing, like by the guys who make Mortal Kombat or by Capcom or whatever the fuck. You actually wouldn't, because the problem is when you have a fan run thing, fans are monsters, and at least corporations know that you have to like sign waivers and you can be held accountable for your actions because you signed a fucking contract. I will miss Evo. It is the best fighting game. It generates the best memes and the best moments, and you generally just see the best competition because you have a lot of players all playing different games. Some of them playing multiple games during like even the same day. You try a lot of different like styles of matches. You see a lot of interesting shit happen, but it needs to go. If it comes back in some form, I hate to say it, it's gonna be the Jeff Keighley fighting game tournament. It's probably gonna happen. Because he originally he has ties with everyone in the Evo community. He went to Evo and as like a big deal for a long time. He's in Dive Kick.
He is in Dive Kick.
He's in Dive Kick as an insult to Jeff Keighley.
Yes.
He
He's the guy with the big head, right?
Yes, his head gets bigger every time he takes an action. I will miss Evo. It didn't need to die earlier this year when it was moving online. That was a good move. It needed to die in this era of accountability that we now live in. Long live the Melty Blood tournament toilet tournament. It's the only prestigious fighting game tournament left. I'll see you boys in the bathroom.
Yeah, I think you bring up a good point of similar to how this year E3 essentially is not happening. So we're left wondering, okay, well, will it continue to exist next year? Will they be able to still revive it next year?
Thing is that at the end of the day, Evo is a one-man show. It is Mr. Wizard's thing. It is his baby. He's the one who owns the trademark. He's the one who owns the incorporated version of the thing. It's his thing, and he is mega canceled. And Capcom said they want nothing to do with him, and Capcom is probably the biggest sponsor of Evo. So that's it.
Yeah. Ouch.
If them's fighting herds won't show up, and ain't nobody showing up.
We're moving on. Dapper, what would you like to talk about for your first topic?
All right, let's talk about the inevitability of death, taxes, and the $70 retail game.
Okay. To be fair, Reliant K in the chat said take away a point from both Ian and Fisher. I did it.
No
Tell us all about the $70 future that we're now facing.
So, 2K Games announced that the next gen PS5 and Xbox Series X versions of 2K21 will sell for $69.99. As we're all pretty much aware, the standard for a good number of years has been $60 at least. Can't remember exactly when it switched from 50 to 60, but at least this last gen.
I want to say it was 360 was the first console to normalize it.
I think
all right.
I think some early PS2 shit might have also been 60.
Could be. I don't know.
I don't recall that, but I know by the PS3 360 we were starting to hit the $60 game. So with this first announcement, I highly doubt NBA 2K21 is going to be an isolated incident.
Oh, for sure.
I think once we see that this floodgate has been open and someone's pulled the bottom Jenga brick down, I think we're going to start seeing most PS5 and Xbox Series X, obviously AAA games. Other games always do something different, obviously. But I think most AAA titles released for these next gen systems are going to hit around 70. Especially since the 2K series is like kind of lazy, and if there's like it deserve to be cost $70, it's the 2K series, who honestly spend less and less effort on a single player and literally just sell you a $70 multiplayer thing.
Yeah, it's very true.
They literally are putting less and less effort in these games, but if they're gonna do the price hike, then people who actually put effort into their games are definitely going to follow suit. So as much as we don't want to admit it, get ready to drop 70 on any base editions of next gen games, because that's just gonna be how this roll.
Yeah.
Also, like, they chose a sports game to start with, and we all know people who buy those games every year don't care. They probably only play like 1 or 2 other games anyway. They can shovel it out for this. They don't give a shit.
That's what, yeah, Reliant K in the chat says, I mean, they're going to sell copies anyway because it's NBA, and it's not like they need the money. I guess they're just doing it because they can, and that is... Yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Not to be mean, like, you're allowed to enjoy whatever you want, but like I said, these games get lazier and lazier every year. You're literally just paying for an updated roster and less single player features.
Yeah.
And yet they still sell like crazy. So yeah, this is going to make bank, and everyone's going to know that they can easily make bank with actual better games.
Totally. It's a bummer. But
quick note about the $60 game thing. 2005 is correct. That's the year that the 360 came out. But the game that is credited with popularizing the $60 price point is Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Ooh, spicy.
That's the game that deserved it.
interesting.
Like coming in at the last minute on the original Xbox and the PS2, like bam, $60.
Yeah, that's funny.
Pay me.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I
they
think
say, like, games haven't risen with inflation.
Yeah,
so
yeah, like
they've
Chrono
been
Trigger was
fixing
$80.
for a long time.
Is the
You know
equivalent
what
of
also
$80.
hasn't risen with inflation?
I'm sorry.
Wages.
sorry, what?
Like, and that includes the wages of the people that are working on these games.
Oh. Sorry.
Ian, before Ian derails us into full
No,
economic
that's all I'm gonna say
The
about
glory of socialism rises again.
yeah. Yeah, I think it's this was bound to happen at some point. I guess I'm glad that it's just $70 and not $80, but
The travesty here is that the PS4 Xbox One version is still 60.
It's wild to me though
Yes.
that we're not seeing a change in like digital versus physical price.
Mhm.
Like you're not like even $5 off would make sense to me. Like there's
not.
manufacturing costs here that have to be accounted for.
yeah. Next up is Mizuki, though. What would you like to take for your first topic of round one?
Let's talk Sony and Epic Games.
Hey, I've heard of those companies before.
Yeah, so weird thing. Sony has acquired a minority stake in Epic Games for 250 buccarinos. So
Million, right? Not billion?
did I say billion? I meant million. If I said billion.
No, you just said buccarinos, and I was like, wait.
Oh yeah, sorry.
150,
Million, 250 million buccarinos.
Okay, just good. Glad to clarify.
Yeah, so this is really fucking weird. We generally don't see video game, especially hardware manufacturers and like first parties, buy stakes in other companies.
That's a good point.
We see them buy out smaller developers, bring them into their fold. We don't see them investing in different companies ever. They only buy out. The closest thing to this I can think of in the past was like Gaikai, when Sony bought a not game developer but streaming company. So this is really interesting. Sony is gonna probably make a buku buck off of this stake they have.
I feel like buying shares in Epic is like buying shares in Microsoft or Apple. Like the company is just going to continue to go up. Like you're not going to lose money on this.
The company is going to continue to go up. They make Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine 5 is poised to continue, if not increase, the Unreal Engine stake in game development. And Sony's going to now be making money off of games for Xbox and PC without having to do anything except shore up some cash. Like that's all they had to do. I think I can't imagine they only did it for that reason. They have got to be getting some other sort of pluses out of this.
Yeah.
Like we've talked between us and just the industry noticed in general that the Unreal Engine 5 demo was very PlayStation oriented.
Yes.
They didn't really mention Xbox at all. They've been very positive on the PlayStation 5 even in interviews and press releases in the past, while mentioning very little about Xbox. Xbox has had to do the mentioning that Unreal Engine 5 is going to be good on Xbox.
Yeah,
so
it's a bad sign when Xbox has to come out like, no, guys, we are allowed to use Unreal Engine 5 on our platform.
Yeah, so there's definitely some, I would even argue, shady shit going on when you have a first-party studio investing in someone that makes an engine for all parties.
Yeah.
That's definitely going to get them some bias that most players will not be really aware of.
Yeah.
Even this is games industry news. This isn't like a developer being bought. This isn't even them buying Epic Games. It's just a stake. Most people are never going to hear that this happened. Yeah, no one's going to hear that this happened. So they'll probably get some exclusives and early content from Fortnite too. I'd be shocked if they didn't.
That's what well, Reliant K fan in the chat says new PlayStation 5 exclusive Fortnite 2. But what I'm going to be interested to see is if games that are on Unreal Engine 5 have some sort of advantage on the PlayStation 5 hardware versus other hardware, which
with such a minority stake, I can't imagine that's the case.
Yeah, but
well,
there has to be something.
So let's be clear here. We don't know how much of a stake that was.
Yeah, I saw a report, like a leak that said 12%, but that doesn't seem
even 12% is a very large.
That seems really high to me.
That's not a. I wouldn't call that a minority stake. I mean, like technically speaking, it is, but like
somebody Google search how what Epic Games is valued at, because I'd have to imagine 250 million is not 11% of it.
They had a valuation in 2020, $17 billion.
Yeah, they're worth a lot of money. They're worth an insane amount of money.
Also, the valuation isn't how much money they have. Let's be very clear.
Listen. I have a degree in economics.
That is what you'll be buying against when you're buying.
Exactly. Yes. When you're buying a share. Yes.
So
yes.
Ian has a degree in economics.
And so to get you on the board.
For context, too,
just the math, 250 million out of 17 billion is 1.4%.
Yeah, it's a much smaller percent. But like when someone buys your stock out like that, that's an influx of cash that you need. So they probably got a better deal than 1 point whatever percent, because this is most likely coming from Epic shares.
I would assume that would be the case.
Tencent bought 48% back in 2000 something.
Yeah,
but they've sold some of those shares if I recall, because I think we talked about that on the show.
Yeah, I think we have to.
They liquidated a bunch of assets when Tencent was getting some roughness.
Yeah. I want to say, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where they're at now, but I think
it's very interesting.
Yeah,
and maybe
very
they bought them from Tencent.
Oh yeah, maybe.
And they got a better deal.
RK Fan says, I thought Kaiser had a degree in acting, or maybe that statement wasn't acting. No, my degree is in acting. I was fucking around.
That's some good acting right there.
Hey. Yeah, this is a very interesting situation, and I am very curious to see what this means for the future of these two companies. But let's move on to round 2. Ian, you're up again. What would you like to talk about?
I know I want to say something about this Fallout show, but I don't know what. So instead, I'm going to talk about the Sims show.
No.
The Sims reality, like the Fallout show is just like, here's some memes, here's some jokes. The Sims show, it's mostly that, but there might be something there.
I'm ruined.
So it seems stupid, right? A fucking Sims reality show. What it actually is in-game design challenges. It's going to be a fucking like game show, competition game show, where 12 people, 12 community personalities, so presumably like streamers and YouTubers and whatever, are going to do design challenges. And I'm actually going to defend this. To an extent.
Shit.
Yeah, I've become the defender of big game companies doing things. Yeah, because I think there's a huge market, obviously, for this kind of game show. This is the cooking show style, or the fucking...
the interior design show. There's a bajillion of those.
Yeah, exactly. It's a combination of the interior design show and the cooking show. Like, what could go wrong? The other thing is, this is what these people do. Like, if you make content for The Sims, most of the people who do it are making, like, design a house. They're not making a story. They're not playing the actual game. They're playing I'm going to design a cool house. And that's what a lot of people who play the game do as well. And that's what a lot of people want to watch. I know, like, 5 of my friends who watched, like, Sims streamers and YouTubers just building houses. And so that's my defense. My I guess attack, my offense is this is bringing in the streamer, the YouTube market to reality TV. And we've seen how that turned out.
What was the name of that show? Was Game Testers?
Game Testers. There's been a couple. And then also if you think of like YouTuber movies and shit like that, which are all just terrible because YouTube and Twitch have a very different comedy style and a very different delivery style than you want out of a show.
The skill set that people have who are streaming or YouTube content creators is not the same skill set that you need to be on television.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I'm not saying it's impossible, but there's definitely a gap there. So I'm really interested to see how this will turn out because it could be just trash and it could be really interesting.
Yeah.
Can I comment on this? He dicked me so bad by taking this out. So I just want to say something.
Sure.
Go for it. This is being slotted into TBS's E-League time slot, which is their like esports and other shit time slot.
Huh.
And speaking as someone that used to work for Turner as part of Xander Media filming dog food commercials and used to work and still technically does work in television, that's a fucking terrible idea, y'all. Because I can tell you for one thing, if I want to watch Pro League, or I want to watch fucking the fighting game thing, I forgot what it's called, and the professional Overwatch coverage that TBS offers, I don't want to fucking watch a goddamn interior design Sims challenge.
Yeah.
That being said, nobody has the ability to commit to a fucking nothing burger like Turner, and they have the money to do it, so they can advertise the fuck out of it, and it can still turn out great.
Reliant Cafe made a really excellent joke. He said, I thought this would be a reality game show with Takashi's Castle sort of challenges. For example, try to get out of this pool without a ladder. which is very good. But moving on, Fisher, you are up next. Do you have another topic that you wanted to pick?
I'm fucking ruined.
I'm sorry.
You're a piece of shit. All right, let's talk about. Damn it all. Let's talk about PS5 possibly having backwards compatibility via the cloud.
Yeah, take it away.
Sony, our good friends over at the big game company with the cross. It's not
the
next,
big
cross.
S.
Cowards. They announced, hey, you know that PlayStation 5 you schlubs are going to buy? Looks like a fucking router. What if it had backwards compatibility? Maybe we're not promising anything hard yet. Would you be interested in playing old video games by any chance? To which everyone went, yeah. What? Yeah. And then here's the thing. They're going to get everyone all drummed up and excited, like, oh shit, backwards compatibility. That's a good thing. That's something we can pat Sony on the back for and say thank you, Papa Sony. Via the cloud. Hey guys, this is just PlayStation View again. Or is that what it's called? The one where you could play old PS3 games on the PS4?
PS Now. PS View was their television service, which also failed terribly.
Yeah. This is just that again. What? Fun fact: I got a week trial of that to play Red Dead 1 because I wanted to play it before Red Dead 2 came out on the PlayStation 4. I booted up, get into the thing. And I was like, Red Dead 1, play. And then it said, waiting in queue. Wait for like 16 people to be done playing games, and you can play a game. And I was like, no. And then I just didn't ever. This is the same. This is the same exact thing. It is cloud software. You're streaming a game from a server somewhere, except now it's on the PlayStation 5, which I guess is better because it's faster, and hopefully I won't have to wait in line. But like, this is the same technology in a new package with like. I also really don't appreciate Sony being like, maybe we'll do it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's still just a patent,
assholes.
Yeah.
This is bad. There better be backwards compatibility in this fucking thing, but just do it the way that Nintendo does. Just virtual console. I don't want to stream anything from a cloud. Let me pay for it, download it, put it on there. How hard is it to build a fucking emulator? You owned the original console. You made the fucking thing. If people from fucking Dolphin can figure out how to make the Wii run, if people from PSX2, whatever the fuck it's called, can make the PlayStation run on my goddamn computer better than it does on my television, then you can figure out how to make it run on the fucking PlayStation 5 future computer. It looks like a spaceship. Make game fast.
Make a game go quick, please.
Go, do it.
That was really yeah. Reliant K gives you an extra point for that passionate rant, and I have to agree. That was
I got unnecessarily mad there.
You got pretty hyped in the middle of that, and I was definitely here for it.
Ridiculous. Don't advertise shit you've already made as like it's new. I'm not fucking stupid.
It's embarrassing. Not embarrassing, but it's just annoying.
It's brilliant. Some marketing rap is like, I'm a fucking genius.
I just want to throw a small wrench into your rant there. They didn't advertise it. They filed a patent, which was picked up by IGN. Whether that's advertising,
yeah,
you tell me.
It is. It's fucking. It's like
They
eighth
leaked
wave post-gen marketing bullshit. everything is a meta narrative. It's all nonsense. Nothing's secret. Nothing's sacred anymore.
Nothing
Dapper,
secret, nothing safe.
give us our next topic.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna do a little bit of cheating, because I'm gonna talk about the Fallout TV show.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna link it in the absolute overload of announced video games getting TV things. I think this is actually bigger than just the Fallout one, because
we have had a lot of those lately, huh?
We are getting a Cuphead cartoon.
Yep.
We're getting a World Ends With You anime. We're getting a Cyberpunk anime, and we're getting a Fallout TV show. And I guarantee you, I'm missing other things in there that are probably coming out. But that's just like,
if you count movies too, there's also a lot more.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about movies. I've talked about how I don't like video game movies enough.
There's also the Castlevania anime last year.
That's been about for about 3 years. I heard the first seasons are very good. I've heard less good things about the most recent season. So yeah, we are starting to get a lot of video game TV shows thrown at us. And I'm pretty curious to see how a lot of these turn out. As maybe I will bring the movie thing into this. As I've generally found, I think animated, or at least semi-animated, tends to go better with video games because they have that natural feel. I think that's why Detective Pikachu and Sonic probably have done a little better than some of the Mortal Kombats and Assassin's Creed and Prince of Persia of old.
Yes.
Because video games are meant to have a sort of sense of not necessarily silliness, but I don't know, they feel like they fold better into an animated concept, which is why I think the Cuphead cartoon could be very, very funny. The Cyberpunk one could be interesting. That one's mostly interesting because Studio Trigger has an aesthetic that seems really what Cyberpunk's aiming for.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I think The World Ends With You could be absolutely dope. I think that's a series that perfectly forms into an anime. And then there's this Fallout one that I'm super, I'm not certain how this one works, because there's a lot in the Fallout universe, but there's also a lot of dystopian wasteland TV shows already. So I'm curious how Fallout's going to try and differentiate itself from the 16 other post-apocalyptic TV shows I could find for you in about 10 minutes of looking. Because what does Fallout truly do different? Nuclear war, that's a million times over.
Yeah. The
monsters, it's a million times over. Sad wasteland, that's a million times over. So I'm curious what this one's aiming for, and if all the ones I've mentioned, I think this one's actually going to be bad. I get that Westworld's a good show, and this is the same people, but I struggle to think how the Fallout world is going to be unique or bring anything to television that I haven't already gotten bored of.
Amazon discovered that old music rights are dirt cheap.
Yeah, I think they'll probably kind of try to catch the tongue-in-cheek humor that Fallout has, and you'll have a couple of people. The main character will wear a Pip-Boy.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. They'll throw in some references to really draw in the hardcore fans. Sure, that's not enough to keep a TV show running. You sort of gotta bring something to the table that's gonna do more than just the most committed fans.
Remarkable Me in the chat says also rip the Sly Cooper movie, definitely. And Arcade Fan says there's the Last of Us show as well being done by HBO. So
that is
man,
we're just the thing with video games being adapted into other shit is that it's always going to be like 5 years behind books and other movies, where like Hollywood is just now figuring out, very long form 60-hour video games don't co-opt very well into a fucking hour and a half movie. Oh, you know what? They'd co-op better as a serialized hour per week show, which is just like, no fucking shit. But you're still gonna fuck it up if you don't know what you don't understand. That's. I don't want to watch a video game. I want to play it.
Yeah.
There's
Just agrees with you.
The way I see it, there's two problems here. One is that they're always behind and they didn't have the format, and they probably still don't have the format. The other one is that fucking movie execs don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, it's the thing with the Dungeons and Dragons movie in the 2000s. Like, what are the kids into now? Dungeons and Dragons, cool. Fucking whip out a script, get it done by April.
Yeah. So even if they get one of those, they're not getting the other one. And if they do, it's going to be a fucking miracle.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, that World Times Review trailer looked dope.
I mean, hell, Tetsuya Nomura probably better at fucking directing goddamn anime than he would be at directing games.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
Use his shit dialogue.
Mizuki, you're up last. Give us the final topic and bring us home.
All right. Can I take a 3-second foray into one and then move to a different one?
I don't care, man.
Do it.
The points don't matter.
So, all right. So Hyperscape had like a tech test in the past couple weeks.
Oop.
I actually played that. It's pretty fun. Give it a shot. It's a very different take on Battle Royale mixed with like arena shooters, which doesn't make sense in your brain, but works in the game. Now, moving on. Xbox is doing a demo event and having a press conference in late July. Like, I think the demo event starts on the 20th or 21st, and the conference is on the 23rd.
Yes.
This is awesome for a lot of reasons. First reason, the demo event is primarily going to showcase indie games from the sounds of it, and like third-party games, which will be very just cool to have that available to everyone on Xbox and I think PC as well.
Absolutely.
You'll get to try out pretty much anything you want. Having the show in the middle of that demo period, I imagine they're going to show a lot of these games. One of the spokespeople has said that a lot of the games that are going to be in the demo event are going to be different from previous demos in that they're very early looks at games. So this is stuff that would probably be at like press events at E3 if that were happening, or available on the show floor for a very canned demo for like 15 minutes or something like that. So I think it's really cool that in the absence of E3 and big show floor stuff, they're making a concerted effort to get demos in the hands of players to try and build hype for their games and for indie games.
Absolutely.
Now, one thing I'm just gonna dive into
and here comes the other shoe.
So, the press conference, right? You know what I'm hyped for, guys? Psychonauts 2.
God
Psychonauts 2.
Somebody take away one of these man's points.
There's gonna be a demo. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be 10 out of 10. I'm gonna love it no matter how bad the game is. Fuck all the haters. It's gonna be fantastic. On the more serious end, I'm hoping Microsoft puts some of the games they announce as demos up there too, which will be very different from Sony and hopefully differentiate between them.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do when they delay it to 2021?
Green 8 Ball actually did take away a point. No, in all seriousness, this is a really cool thing that they're doing. The fact that they, you know, like you said, this is something that games that would have been showed at E3 that people who were there could have played, and maybe even then only press people. This would not be available to the larger public, and now here we go. There's 60 games that we get to play, which is freaking rad.
I guess one super quick thing, a lot of these indie games would get press time at E3, but with all the COVID stuff, it's been very hard for them to organize stuff like that.
Totally.
So being able to go directly to the players like this is going to be a huge boon for them, because they're not going to get the press coverage they would normally get during E3, where press talks about their demos and how cool their games are.
And rejoice, because Reliant K fan did give you back another point as a pity. But I think that is going to do it for this week. So that means Mizuki, Ian, and Dapper, it's time to go home and become family men, because this week's winner is the Fisher King. Woo. Are you ready for your minute to win it?
Sure.
Then take it away.
Okay, last week I was on vacation and I thought, game devs are really doing a great job of, handling the Corona times well, and we're getting a lot of cool trailers and shit out. And then everyone and their grandmother came out as an evil bastard who abuses people and or is a racist, usually both. So, fuck that. Don't play anything supported or made by an evil monster. That being said, you can totally buy the games. That doesn't have anything to do. Vote with your mouth and say that you don't support people online. Don't fucking punish the devs who worked their ass off for it. Go buy fucking Horizon Zero Dawn. More importantly, go play D&D, or just go do something that isn't a gigantic AAA mega title controlled by some evil corporation or some scumbag David Cage type driving the helm. Just do something that's pure and good, and enjoy video games, and stop looking at what's going on with Smash. Stop looking at what's going on over there with fucking Ubisoft being evil and EA abusing children and whatever monstrous thing is going on. I can't do it anymore.
You heard it here first, folks.
Just go make your own video game. Fuck it.
Easy
to
do.
Play Warframe.
Really quick. Also, you said you in the middle of that you said play Horizon Zero Dawn. Did somebody on that team do something bad?
No.
Oh, it's pure. All right, but things to plug for this week. We are going to be doing a live stream reaction to the Ubisoft. I think, what is it called? Ubisoft Next.
I think it's Ubisoft Forward.
Forward. Yep.
Sure. These goddamn. I can't.
Yeah.
It is Ubisoft Forward. Yeah.
Cool.
Use Direct. It's fine.
Don't get sued by Nintendo, because they will sue you. I also, since I'm back, have started working on I have 2 scripts written. I was able to write while I was away, and the next one that I'm working on now is actually a collaboration with someone else. So be on the lookout for that. Probably won't be ready till at least Monday, because I am just getting started on it. Anything else to? Oh yeah, tomorrow we will be doing Around the Controller. Mizuki, if you'd like to talk about that.
Yeah, tomorrow, same time, which is 7:30-ish Eastern, we'll be doing what did we decide on? Are video games too long?
Yeah, I think
yeah, we're gonna talk about Are Video Games Too Long?
Or something else. Who knows?
Yeah.
No, it's that one. We're doing that one. That's happening.
All right.
Oh, also important, if you haven't seen it already, check out our new video essay, which is up. It's a video review of The Last of Us 2, made by Mizuki himself. So go and support that. I think we're sitting just below 100 views on that right now. So put it over.
Yeah, check it out. If you do plan to play The Last of Us Part 2 and haven't played it, though, don't bother.
Yeah.
As much as I'd love to have that click, don't bother clicking that.
Honest man.
Anything else for people to plug this week? So until next time, this has been Around the Monitor.